Morning, everybody. Welcome to Upper Big Tahunga Canyon. Fun little weekday up here for us. This is Laszlo, and this is the 034 Motorsport Audi TTRS. Laszlo from 034 representing. Thanks for coming down, man.
Thanks for having us, Matt.
Tell me, first off, a bit of housekeeping. We're using a new powered exterior mic today, so sound might be different. We're experimenting. I am trying to get the best sound we can. We are actively working on it as I mess with this a little bit. So tell me about the car.
So this car features our RS500 turbo kit.
Okay.
Which is new for the TTRS. It's a hybrid turbo.
What is a hybrid turbo?
It uses the factory turbocharger with a clipped turbine wheel.
Oh, so it's an upgraded like impeller?
Yeah, so the turbine wheel's clipped so it flows better, and then we've got a larger compressor wheel and a little larger inlet.
Okay.
It's a really nice upgrade because you don't get the lag that you would get with the bigger turbo. Spool is exactly the same as the stock unit.
Okay. So this, I drove APR's kit a couple years ago, and you mentioned in your email that that this car is different from their kit. And is it because you use this hybrid turbo?
Yeah.
Let's go for a drive and let's talk about that.
All right.
So what does this car make?
At the wheels, it's making about 440 wheel horsepower.
And what is the stock? Stock is what, 300?
Stock is right around 300, a little bit under on our dyno. So at the crank, we rate this at about 540 horsepower.
All right. Well, that's a bunch.
Yeah. And
that's on, is that pump gas or is that race gas?
This is on 100 octane.
Okay.
Peaks about 20 wheel horsepower less on 91, but you get more mid-range with the 100 octane too.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you bringing the 100 octane along. That's nice.
It's more fun for you. So.
Yeah. So suspension, brake-wise, is this car standard?
It's pretty close to stock. So we've got our rear sway bar on here. That really helps make the car more neutral. Okay. Especially when you're entering corners off throttle.
Oh, there's some power.
Yeah. Wow. Plenty of it.
There is plenty of it. This brake pedal feels very tight as well. Yeah.
So we got Cobalt XR2 brake pads up front, and then we've got our RS6 rear brake rotor upgrade in the back.
Oh, is that how they do it? The Audi parts swapping?
Yeah.
Wow, here we go. Good Lord. That is some power, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah, so the stock
manageable though.
Stock turbo kind of drops off up top. This keeps pulling towards redline. Redline's 7200 now, so.
It makes a cool sound. It sounds like half a Viper.
Yeah.
It sounds like one side of a Viper.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a 2.5 5-cylinder, so actually basically half
a Gallardo. Yeah.
And it's stock exhaust, catback, just our downpipe and our mid pipes.
Oh, really?
Sounds phenomenal, and it flows more than enough for this kind of power.
Standard shifter?
Standard shifter.
Shifter feels really good.
Yeah, it's nice and
It's tight. It's not too long, not too sloppy. That's good. And we've chosen a big, fast road today, so... Hell yeah. Ooh, this is very nice. What does this car weigh?
That's a good question. I'm not sure the curb weight of the RSs. These are aluminum.
Oh, can you make that not in front of the camera? Just like stick it up somewhere. Sorry guys, we're trying new things and it's a little sloppy right now. Car's not sloppy though. So you guys race Audi TTs and you won Thunderhill, and you have a second place finish at Thunderhill.
Yeah, right? So no, we retired the car first year.
Oh, did you retire it? Oh, sorry, my facts were slightly off.
We had a factory part failure first year, but we came back the second year and won in a field with R8s and GT3 Cup cars and prototypes.
Well, that's excellent, and that's in a front-wheel drive car, right?
Yeah, the VLN version of this is front-wheel drive. It's really well set up. It's a bargain for the price point.
Our friend Rob Holland races one of these over in Germany.
Yeah, it's the same car. So
it's exactly the same car, right?
So we just partnered with Compass 360.
Okay.
They race in Grand Am, and we're rebuilding a.
Oh wait, what gear was I just in there? I feel like I just whatever. I think I went to the wrong gear. Sorry.
It's all good. We partnered with Compass 360, and they're in Grand Am, and we're doing a different TTRS build for the GTS class there.
And that's front-wheel drive as well?
No, that is retaining the four-wheel drive.
Oh, you can run four-wheel drive. Cool, yeah.
So that class is really competitive. There's Caymans in it that are doing really well. So
that's not, are the GT350s racing in that too? That's Tudor.
That's Tudor, yeah.
So I can't keep all these series straight anymore.
They're together now.
It's so confusing.
Yeah, it's all merging.
Well, this car, you know, it doesn't really exhibit any of that nose-heavy shit that you're used to with Audis. I think it's because of the different platform.
Yeah, so this car is really nice. It's got the Gen 4 hull decks, and the rear sway bar is really all it needs. We've got some spherical bushings in the back for the suspension.
How much power can it send to the back?
It's just, I mean, it's 50% if the hell deck is locked up. But,
okay.
You know, if the front wheels slip, then theoretically all the power goes to the back.
In theory.
Yeah.
But if the front wheels slip and all the power goes to the back, I'm not sure that's actually the preferred way to do it.
Yeah, that's not the preferred way.
That might be understeer into more understeer. Wow, this car makes really good power. It doesn't, now, in all fairness, it's been 2.5 years since I drove the APR car. I remember that car being a little peakier and this car being a little bit more of a flatter torque curve.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. This is a really flat torque curve, so the power is linear. It keeps building to redline. And we taper the boost down a little bit from the peak, but
yeah,
it's just to keep it efficient, and it doesn't, this can perform on track lap after lap.
How much boost is this car making?
Peak boost is right around 23 to 24 pounds, and then it tapers to around 19, 20.
What is the stock boost?
Stock boost is around 15 or so, 14.
This thing, man, everything feels very tight. I mean, it is a $60,000 car. It's not like this is like a shit box, you know. It's a nice car.
Yeah, the spherical bushings in the back help a lot. So there's a lot.
But they don't feel clunky.
No, they're not. They're quiet. I mean, you get some added noise with spherical, but the subframe's still on pretty cushy rubber mounts. So really, this platform's shared. You know, a lot of the parts are shared with like the base Golf.
The Golf, yeah.
So a lot of those rubber bushings are the same exact part, even in something like the TTRS. So
yeah.
we go through and replace, you know, what we can comfortably, get some more feedback for the driver out of it.
The sound it makes, it's like it's got a bunch of Gallardo-ish noise, and then it also has Gallardo speed. I don't hear a ton of turbo. I just hear exhaust. It's nice.
Yeah, so it's on the stock airbox right now.
Okay.
So that's part of the reason you don't hear much induction noise.
Are there other parts that need to be, you know, beefed up? The clutch, the gearbox, or is that stuff all pretty good to go?
This is actually on stock clutch.
Really?
Stock flywheel, stock gearbox. So we're really pleased with how this kit does.
If you drive it properly, can you expect that stuff to hold up really well?
It's been holding up really well in this car.
How many miles are in this car? 23,000.
So.
Power is pretty addictive.
Yeah.
I like the power a lot, man. The power is really good. This thing is sweet, dude. You know, no one really thinks about TTs. They always go straight to the Boxster Cayman, but
yeah, so it's really interesting. We don't modify very many TTs. But the TTRSs we get a ton of.
Really?
It seems like every customer that picks them up, you know, there's only roughly about 1,200 of them in the U.S., and we've modified a number of them.
APR guys, not to just drop your competitors, but APR guys said they modified a bunch of them as well.
Yeah, no, we're an APR dealer, and we've installed numerous Stage 3 kits. So.
I'm just going to go through just flatten first. Dude, this thing has got to be down into the 3s for 0 to 60, even with 2 shifts, right?
Yeah, it's really quick. In Europe, these came with the DSG transmission. It was into the 3 stock with that.
Oh,
so.
well, yeah. Well, this has got to be into it with the stick for sure.
Yeah. I
mean, that's a real pull. You get here. I'm gonna just go down, just so we can see where power comes on. We'll start at 1,500 RPM second gear. Yes, we're going a little bit downhill, but this is just for fun here. 2,000, 3,000. Yeah, 3,500 is the number really, where you get that big shove. And what did you say peak torque was?
Peak torque's right around 440 at the wheels.
At the wheels. At what RPM?
And that's right around, I think, 4,000 RPM.
It's a big shove. But you gotta be comfortable with driving it between 4 and 7 all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's got enough go, you know, outside of that, but it's got the same amount of go as the factory car, if not more.
Yeah, what about cooling? Do you have to beef that up to handle the extra boost?
Yeah, so we got a Wagner Evo 3 intercooler.
Okay.
It's basically the biggest one you can get on the market.
And that's air to water?
It's air to air.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, so it's got a little split core design. It makes the most of the space that's available.
Dude, this car rips.
Yeah, I mean, what's it, like 90 degrees outside today?
It's really hot. We're at elevation, and it's fourth gear. It just pulls very, very strong. This is a great car, dude. This thing is awesome. Yeah, I know we had planned on doing a different car, and then it was acting up, and so you brought this, but I'm glad you did, because this is greght.
I'm glad you like it. I don't want to do like a bait and switch, but I figured
No, this is good. No, not finicky, please. I cannot deal with unreliable cars. I don't have enough time. This is great. What tires are on this?
It's actually just some Sumitomos.
Really?
Yeah,
They're not bad.
Nothing special.
No, they're not bad. I like, the car, it feeds back the right amount of information. Like, little road surface changes, not so much, but like small bumps that will actually move the suspension get communicated really well.
Yeah.
I'm driving that Dynan M4 this week, and I feel every little tiny surface change. It's just a little too tight. This one, for a road setup, is really nice.
Yeah, so it's on stock spring still. Like I said, stock ride height. But the mag ride really firms it up in sport mode.
Oh yeah, magnetic dampers. They're the best. I mean, there's an argument for, coilovers or even motons or something, but if you've got magnetic ride, how much money do you have to spend to get something better than that? I mean,
yeah,
it's
so
possible.
We worked on a kit with Olin's TTXs.
Yeah.
It's a $7,000 kit. It's fantastic.
But does it really ride much better than this?
No, I mean, it's worth it for somebody who wants a track setup,
Yeah.
But for most people, this is more than enough.
I find most people go too stiff in their road cars, and the rewards are not necessarily there on the track.
That's true.
This car is so sweet. What would this kind of setup go for? If I dropped you off a stock TTRS, how much would it cost to get here?
Well, if you just do the downpipe, intercooler, and turbo kit, you're at about $8,500 in parts.
And what are you getting a low mile TTRS for these days? In the 40s?
Yeah, mid to low 40s.
So for 50 grand, I mean, you'll have a car that will absolutely walk a stock M3.
Yeah.
Which is 20 grand more out of the box.
Yeah, these are unique too. They're very limited production in the U.S. and got that awesome 5-cylinder that Audi's came to be known for in Group B days. So.
You think there's a collector value of these? A long-term collector value?
It's hard to say. It sounds like they're going to be the last 6-speed TTRS and maybe the last 6-speed RS car. So.
Maybe, yeah. This one, it's so funny how often it escapes my mind, but I think this may be my favorite of the RS cars. The RS7 is great because it's just a cruise missile, and you can get up to 180 before you have any idea what happened. But the RS5 was kind of disappointing. It's not that fast.
Yeah.
And the last RS4 I wasn't really that about.
Yeah, for us it's a really special RS car. We got started out, tuning the early Audi 5-cylinders, cars from the 80s, early 90s. And so this really gave us a chance to get back to our roots.
God damn, this thing is great. Do you still do the older Audis?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, I got to come up to your shop and drive one of those. I haven't driven like an early 90s Audi in a long time. Are they any good?
I mean, you can make them fun on track.
Yeah.
You don't get the level of refinement that you get with the newer cars.
Of course not.
But those 5-cylinders, I mean, they're bulletproof.
Do they sound like this one?
Yeah, they sound phenomenal. It's amazing sounds. We've made 1,000 horsepower out of them. 2.2 liter, 2.3 liter engines.
This car is extremely forgiving. Like, I had no practice. I didn't go on a warm-up run. And I mean, you can really just get right in this and go balls to the wall. And it's I mean, I'm not driving 10 tenths, I'm driving 7 tenths, but it's fucking fast and it's really just easy.
Yeah, the sway bar helps. You can step out the back a little bit if you trail brake or lift, but otherwise it's very neutral, and like I said, it's a very forgiving car.
Yeah, heel towing is super easy. The clutch is very light, but it has good feel. And the steering is better than you get in most Audis, except maybe the R8. Oh, this car is fast, man. This is a good car. I like this thing a lot. Now, this lady's not going to be happy with me at all. Hi, how are you, sir? Ma'am, whatever it was that you were. Couldn't really tell, actually. Was that Caitlyn Jenner? Might have been. The RAV4 says no. If it was a GT3RS, maybe. Wow. I'm impressed, Laszlo. This is a very good car. The inputs are good. You know, the design of it is nice. It's not like ugly. It sounds good. It goes fast as hell. Is this noticeably faster with the 100 octane in it than if you had filled it with 91?
The peak torque's more noticeable, but up top it's almost indistinguishable because the power just climbs towards redline.
Yeah.
You get that nice linear power band that a lot of turbo cars don't have. They're really laggy, or they kind of drop off up top like the factory turbo does.
Yeah.
This just keeps climbing.
Well, that's the trend in turbos is to mimic V8 torque around town, isn't it?
Yeah. So they go with usually an undersized turbo from the factory.
Yeah, I mean our little Fiesta ST, tiny turbo, massive low end torque, and then it kind of dies. Let's we'll flip around here. Get instruction down there. Oh, here we go. No worries. And it's at low RPM. It I hate to say it, but like, you know, when you're just making a U-turn, it almost feels like a Golf. Like
yeah.
If you're just doing this, like slow is easy.
It's an L7K motor, so it's a lot of the internals are actually shared with something like a base Golf.
And this is standard internals, right? Nothing done.
Yeah,
internally?
stock internals. So the RS motor has a forged crankshaft, forged internals, but
I mean, for $8,000, that's a lot of fucking speed. It's a lot of power. You get that work. And does that package include the intercooler?
8,500 you can get the intercooler.
Yeah.
And you really don't need much else. You know, intakes, there's some gains there, but you know, California.
Factory intakes are not nearly as restrictive as they used to be.
Exactly.
A lot of cars, a lot of tuners are saying, yeah, I mean, we'll sell you one if you want one to look cool, but wow, that was impressive. Thank you, Laszlo. I genuinely enjoyed that. Check out, what's your website?
034motorsport.com.
And they're up in San Francisco. They race in Grand Am. Where else do you race? VLN series?
VLN, the car's doing VLN. We've just done, we used to do Time Attack. We might get back into that. And we're doing Grand Am with Compass 360.
That's awesome. Well, you can check them out at the racetrack or on their website. And if you have a TTRS, get yourself $8,000 together and give this guy a call, because this thing is legit. See you guys next time.